following is in hundreds of thousands. Even her fan page on Instagram, in hundreds of thousands. A lot of people are following her. So, what does Saida do? What does she talk about? A lot of ladies see her as an activist. Saida will say things like, "Oh, if a man cannot afford me financially, if he cannot pay my bills, if he can't do this, it's not worth me." You know, giving women that, young ladies that narrative. You understand? Young girls concur with her because of the opinion. What if he leaves you, or maybe he's actually married and he's just using you? At least you were able to gain some financial benefits from him. You know, always painting men as the bad guys. Now, in her current podcast interview with the Honest Bunch, she said a lot of things and even tried to uh, talk down on the concept of marriage, saying men don't mean anything. You know, she just said so much about how um, you should be smart as a woman. Don't be so emotionally attached. You should have, you know, some. She said, don't be thirsty. Yes, have some pride as a woman. Don't be thirsty. Okay, you're not even supposed to text the guy first. He's supposed to text you. All right. She's made her point known, and this is her major message. Women should be wide-eyed. You should shine your eye. Don't let anybody use you, drop you, clean mouth. Be a smart girl. You dig, innit? So that's her major message. And a lot of ladies have considered her an activist, someone who speaks up for the women. No, you see, when I heard of Saida, and people were talking about, oh, this, you know, she calls herself the talkative, you know, and I heard that people tried to place her at par with VDM, saying she's the female, very dark man. I'd like us to go into that. How and why was she tagged female, very dark man? First of all, who's very dark man? I've made a video on this before. How about you go back and, you know, watch that video so that you can be able to, like, understand what I'm talking about here. VDM is an activist. He's someone who speaks for people. Most of the times he sounds a bit controversial. I mean, if a case should pop up in the country, when everybody is going towards A, very dark man will come and bring our direction to B. And most of the times he's making sense. I know why I said most of the times, because there have been cases where, you know, people are like, you didn't do it right this time. So yes, a VDM, generally, if you look at it, he actually does something meaningful to the public. He's not talking, you know, BS. But Saida, who has been tagged a female VDM, when you talk about the things that her content on social media, the things she likes to talk about, it's not really adding up. Why would you call her female VDM? For me, I feel she's just ranting. Yes, I feel she's just, you know, ranting about her personal needs. I mean, even somebody on the podcast mentioned the fact that if she's not hungry, why would you bill a man up to 500k on the first time you're talking with him? They talked about the talking stage between a man and a woman on the podcast, and she was of the opinion that if she starts talking with you in the morning, she's going to bill you in the evening. All right? If you don't have the money, you go, leave. You're not supposed to be in her DM if you don't have money. Okay, now this is funny, right? I know it looks weird, but do you know a lot of ladies following that, like, they support that? They agree that yes, that you're supposed to bill a man so you don't waste your time. You know, you get to know if he's serious when he sends money, and it shouldn't be less than 500k. The least you should be able to afford as a man who wants to go out with her is 500,000. She says you can't send 100k because what's 100k do for her? It's crazy. I know it sounds really bizarre. It sounds really but now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Why is this narrative? Why are Nigerian ladies interested in this kind of thing? Why does she still have followers? Why does she still have supporters? Because when I'm saying this, a lot of people are like, oh, that's crazy. It's actually not nice. So who are the people supporting her, right? Who are the people edging her on? Now, why is why does she have supporters? Why is she now popular? Why does she have people who agree with her? I'm going to tell you. Now, we live in a generation where everybody is being too cautious when it comes to the relationship concept. Nobody wants to sacrifice anymore. Nobody wants to genuinely love. Everybody is looking for what they can gain when they get into a relationship. All right, you hear most men don't even want to use their ear to hear that, oh, you're keeping yourself from marriage anymore. They'll think you're tricking them as a result of things that have happened to other people, other people's experience. So they don't want to experience that same thing. All right, so they're not down for, once I'm dating you, I must be able to get in between your legs. That's what it is for most men. Okay. And then for the ladies, if he doesn't have money, what am I doing with him? Because this generation tend to see men as people who would carry on their problems, take their problems away. Her type of content is geared towards making girls believe that as long as you're beautiful, you can just bag one rich man who would take care of your life and transform it from top to bottom without you contributing a penny or a single effort in changing your life. How delusional can you be? Why wouldn't you work? Why do you feel you deserve all the good things in life without working for it? Because you are beautiful. Beauty is not something that will last forever. At some point your skin will wear off. Beauty is something that if you get into an accident you might lose it. It's really not guaranteed forever. So why do you make it look like it's such a big deal? I have to be paid for being beautiful. You have to maintain. If you cannot maintain my beauty, disappear. Now, I'm not trying to say that money is not important, but how do you make such outrageous and bizarre, standards? You set such standards and you expect that people will actually follow it. Now, another question is, do men actually follow these standards? Do men actually do this? Release this amount of money because a lady somewhere believes she should get this amount of money from him, then he brings it out and gives it to her. Does that actually happen? Is it really true? Her narrative of men who are willing to bring out millions just to sleep with her, just to have her, just to date her. Is that really true? Okay, now, before I delve into all those things I've mentioned, I want to ask, for people who are of the opinion that she is a female VDM, I want to ask, intellectually, can you actually place Saida and Very Dark Brown on the same pedestal, intellectually? When it comes to detailed talk, about important issues, like the kind of content that Very Dark Man creates, can Saida, comprehend? Can she actually do something like that? VDM spits facts. I'm gonna give that to him. He's truthful and he critically analyzes situations and makes you see things that you didn't even see before. Alright? So VDM is good at what he does. Now when you say somebody looks like VDM, we are expecting someone who is not just intelligent but critical, someone who can analyze, dissect things, like someone who is ready to calm down and open your eyes to something that you're not seeing. That's what you should be expecting. But then we see a lady who is always talking about how men should be ready to spend, if not, they're not serious. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think intellectually Saida should be placed on the same pedestal with Very Dark Man? Personally, I do not think so. I don't think they should be, compared. It's not a nice comparison. Now I will go into some of this, some of the things I mentioned before. If men actually bring out that amount of money to sleep with some certain women, or ladies who are the expensive classy ladies? Do men actually bring out millions? Well, there might be a few cases, all right? There might be a few of them, but it is not, a certainty. It is not a thing for men to just bring out money that they worked hard for. Unless they're into crime or cyber, even the ones that are into cybercrime and illegal activities, they still worked for that money. They took risks. They took risks and they put their effort into it. They put their intellect into it and everything, and they made money. And you expect that they're just gonna bring it out in bulk and give it to you just because you're a pretty girl? No. That narrative has been sold for the longest time by a lot of this wannabe female celebrities in Nigeria. That's not actually how it goes down. No. And now I'm going to talk about most Nigerians and the hypocrisy that is very, very prevalent in this nation. Okay? A lot of people would recently, a lot of people would bash the young girl whenever they see her videos and say, oh, she's talking nonsense, she's a young girl, they will say a lot of things trying to discredit Saida. Alright? Now, I want to ask, who are the hundreds of thousands of people following her on Instagram? Who are the people who are, sending her lovely messages, making nice comments, supporting her? Who are the millions of people who are behind her on TikTok? She has over 1 million followers on TikTok. Who are they? Since everybody tends to be bashing her and claiming she doesn't have sense whenever she opens her mouth to talk. And now another thing is, why did Saida fail as a skit maker? Why did she leave skit making? It obviously wasn't giving her what she wanted. It didn't give her the attention she needed. It didn't help her blow. So she looked for an alternative. The alternative she looked for, she was very strategic about this. She tried something that would interest Nigerians, and that is controversial talk. Something spicy. Something, that will engage people. Nigerians seem to like all these very hot topics, something trendy, something that will make them say, something a little bit on the violent side. Then you see Nigerians. So I think she was smart about her option of, the line of entertainment she chose. All right? She was pretty smart about it. And it gave her what she wanted. Because the more she spills or spews talk like that, the more she gets engagements, the more the algorithm pushes her and she gets deals. There's a whole lot to gain from what she's doing. There's a whole lot to gain. She's making money from it. But I believe if she had continued in the skit making and stuff, she probably wouldn't have made a headway by now. Isn't it crazy? It's almost as if we worship we Nigerians, we worship or we give more attention to something that seems morally, wrong. Look at the likes of the cross-dressers we have in the country. Look at James Brown, look at Bob Risky, look at J Boogie and the likes, people who are condemned every time their matter is brought up. You get it? It's assumed that everybody in the country hates what they've turned themselves into. All right? It's assumed that, oh no, nobody supports a man behaving like a woman, and stuff like that. Humans, almost every human being you come across in Nigeria will tell you, oh no, they don't fancy that. Who are the millions of people supporting them on the internet then? Bloggers keep reposting their shit. Okay? And they get likes, they get followings, they get views, they just do something and you see a lot of fans willing to support them. So what exactly are we doing? What exactly are we standing for? Where is it that we stand? I'm gonna say something, yeah? Believe whatever you see on the internet at your own risk. Yes, and most of these influencers, right? They will come out with a narrative. You know, people can actually paint a character and decide to be that character on the internet, but that's not what they are in reality, right? Yes, a lot of public influencers that you are following right now and you're seriously fanning, this is what they're doing, all right? They create an image that people might or will most likely find interesting, and they blend with that character and they present it to you, and they allow you to have your opinions, your says, and whatever. And the more you keep giving your opinions and your thoughts, their engagement keeps increasing. People keep knowing about them, and before you know it, boom, they're making money. I could go on and on and on and on with so many public influencers that Nigerians claim not to like. But I mean, they're making money on social media. They're getting engagements. They're getting likes. They're getting followers. Is it even making sense? No, it's not. But that's the thing about Nigerians. If you want to get their attention, go south. All right. Now, I would like to bring to our notice, that is in alliance with what I just said. Saida comes from a well-to-do family. Yes, I mean, I think they currently live in Abuja. Her parents, her family is doing well. So you would ask yourself, if everything is okay at home, why would she make such content? Why would she? Because if it's a girl who doesn't have a known background, she's a nobody. People can understand, oh, she's doing this because she's coming from a humble background, and she's trying to make money, and nobody's going to advise her. But since Saida comes from it looks very fun. They look very financially stable. I mean, she graduated from the American University, Adamawa State. All right, that's a very expensive school. If she could graduate from a place like that, living comfortably in Abuja, I think the parents are actually well-to-do. So why would someone like that come and do this kind of videos? And a lot of young ladies are following. Have you ever thought for one second, just stopped to think for a second, what if Saida is not actually the kind of girl she's portraying herself to be on the internet? Have you ever thought about it? What if she's just doing all these things for cruise, for the likes, for the engagements, so that she can get, deals? I mean, look, she was invited on the podcast now. And, things like that will keep happening. She's already getting the attention of Nigerians. And before you know it, brands will start looking for her. But have you ever stopped to think, what if she's just playing with all of us? Just playing and enjoying herself. Probably with the support of her family. Everybody's like, oh yeah, do your thing. I mean, it's getting you money. Do your thing. Enjoy yourself. Fulfill every erotic desire. And if what it is, you come back and marry your money. The father. It is settled. Don't mind me. All right, so let's go back to what I was saying. So have you ever stopped to think that this girl might just be chasing clout for what is going to benefit her at the end of the day, not necessarily because she's a bad girl? This girl might actually be a very good, down-to-earth, obedient daughter of her father who is so, amazing child. But on the internet, she poses she's one baddie that will just snap her fingers and 5 million will enter her account. Have you ever stopped to think that these may be false? So for those young ladies out there who actually believe and follow these narratives and actually believe in their hearts that because they are fine, some man from nowhere who is crazy rich will pick them up and, girl, I'm going to change your life. And then they transform her, change her wardrobe, get her a car, pay her 5 million monthly allowance, renovate her father's compound and stuff. Yeah. Even in Korean movies, it doesn't happen. Even in Disneyland, it hasn't happened before. Okay? So why do we allow ourselves to get so delusional sometimes? You can't tell me, and I will believe that people are not supporting, people don't actually go with Saida's, narrative. People don't actually think the way she does. And she has that much followers and supporters on the internet. And I don't believe it. There are people who actually believe Saida and follow her teachings. She said on the podcast that she advises young girls that come to complain to her about how a man used them, or, they're crying to her. And she's like, oh, I'm not a therapist, but I'm going to give you the little advice I can. People are looking up to her already. What is she advising? If he doesn't have money, leave him. If he does not know your worth, leave him. And most times these advices are given after hearing just one side of the story. Alright? A woman will come online and tell you how a man mistreated her for the 5 years they were dating before she eventually broke free of that shackle. Now, in a 5 years relationship, the man kept on mistreating you constantly. So why did you now leave after 5 years? You could have left after the first year he mistreated you. You could have left after the second year he mistreated you. Why did you wait until 5 years was over before you realized that, I have to leave? The story isn't complete. And when you hear something like that, because women tend to be very sentimental sometimes, I feel like issues like this should be taken to a therapist, or you see a counselor, or you talk to somebody who is more experienced, somebody who is more advanced, that can actually help you overcome your problems. You never can tell. You also might have made mistakes in that relationship that made the whole thing, it didn't work out anymore after 5 years. You should be looking up to somebody that can actually help you properly, emotionally, and otherwise. But no, because there is Saida who talks about how beautiful her life is, how she gets money easily because she's smart, because she does this, she does that. She paints this picture for you. And when you're going through relationship issues as a young girl, when you feel like you're having, difficulties in your relationship with your spouse or your boyfriend, instead of you to look out for proper professionals to help you, you enter Saida's DM and tell her that man is abusing you. What do? Of course, she'll keep on selling the same narrative to you, even if it's just a mask that she's wearing. She has to keep up with that character. She cannot break character if she's in character. She cannot break it. She will tell you what she has been saying since in her video. Leave him. There are better men out there. Men are not scarce. But if you're a wise young lady, not everything a female influencer says online. I think a lot of us know this already. Most of them are just selling these narratives for the likes, for the engagements. They don't really mean the things they do. And for those that mean it, good luck with that. Good luck to them. But do not think your life is going to be so fantabulous, so flamboyant, just because you listen to a few female influencers and the way it works for them, they could do it, so why can't you do it? And then you go ahead and get yourself entangled in a lot of mess. So to avoid had I known and sorry sob stories later on in life, how about you just put yourself together? Think things through. If you do have a problem relationship wise, seek professional help, or you pray. That works too. Okay, so looking at all this to come to a conclusion of the whole matter, let us come to the conclusion of the whole matter. Is Saida really somebody young ladies should look up to? Is she, and also we also need to understand, we also need to ask this question. Is she really who she is portraying herself to be on the internet? My message today is to people who are seriously following these people and trying to live like them. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Calm down. What you see isn't always what it is. All that glitters isn't gold, darling. So how about we take our time to reminisce? And also I'd like to know your thoughts on concerning this particular topic. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section. So with this, having said all of this, tell me what you think, and I will be saying bye-bye, but before I do, I hope you didn't forget to like the video and subscribe, and of course share to your friends. Alright, so this is where I'll be calling it a wrap. Tell me what you think. Is Saida really somebody to be looked up to? Well, what are your thoughts on this girl? She recently did this podcast and it's got a lot of people talking. What is your take? What do you think? I'll be reading in the comment section. But for now, it's a bye-bye. I love you guys so much. So until next time.